All right, last question, because I asked this, we're both parents. Your children, I said, what do you want for your children as they go into the world?
I want them to be good, caring, kind people, to be of service to your fellow man, to know how important that is, also to understand how much you get out of that. You know, they're involved with my kids. I have the biggest heart camp in America for kids with heart defects and heart disease.
Wait, what is that?
It's Camp del Corazon. It's on Catalina Island. I've done it for 20 years.
Well, I never heard of it.
Yeah.
And what does it do?
It's kids that have heart defects or heart disease and can't go places. And we've set up a camp. And a lot of these kids, it's the first time they've been out of their parents' house. Oh, and we go meet down in Long Beach, and they take a boat out there, and then they get to this beautiful camp that we have, and it changes their lives. Because now they have a network. They're not the only kid with a scar down their chest in gym or whatever. Now everybody does. And now they bond forever. And their parents, we don't let their parents talk to them, where they are on their own, just like every kid gets that opportunity. Every kid should have fun at camp in the summer. And that's what we provide. And we're silly, and we really go for it. In fact, one of the first things I did was, as I was talking to kids, what bothers you, what's hard in life, they're talking about the scars, because they, and I say, scars are awesome. I have scars. I got a full, I said, look at mine. So we have a scar contest every year, and we give money and trophies, and they're like, oh, they got the vote. Hey, Big Tommy, that's my camp name. And I got a great new scar. I had my kidney replaced or whatever, and scars are survival. That's what we do. We get up and we deal with it, and then and just keep going. And a lot of our kids, not everybody makes it, but they come back to be counselors, or they become healthcare workers. They're just a really
How did you get involved in it?
A buddy of mine, a producer, who I'd done a movie, Happy Endings, which I loved. His daughter was 17, and they were hiking in the Santa Monica Mountains, and she caught a virus, and it shut down all her organs, and everything came back but her heart.
Oh my
and
God.
She had a heart transplant at UCLA, and the doctor, the brilliant surgeon, Mark Plunkett, that did it, the father said, "What can I do for you? I'll do anything for you." And he said, well, they started this camp, and they really don't know how to raise money or, Hollywood thing. And he took me to lunch and said, "Will you do this?" And I said, "Absolutely." And his daughter is still going. She's going in her 30s and doing great. And, I've got hooked. I got hooked on it, man. Because...
And that was before you had your scar?
Yeah.
Interesting.
But once I got it, I show everybody.
Right.
But no, we're survivors, and it's great. It was before I had my kids, and I'm so grateful that my kids were born healthy. We do things for the parents too. We don't just take care of the kids. We counsel the parents. We do the insurance stuff, so they get no kid's ever paid.
Really?
10,000 kids or more. No kid is ever paid. But I have to go around and raise money, and we have a gala, which my kids will be at, and they love going to the camp. They love going to the camp.
So this was when I didn't know about this camp, but this is, I said this to Tom, just thought it in my own, before I knew anything about Tom, but also just when we got to know each other, just tremendous, that empathy that comes across. And the thing I said to Tom is, even when I'm doing a scene and it's a serious scene, and I look across the table to him, I said to Tom, there's just something about you, even when you're not even speaking, that is just, you feel like the guy that I could say something to and it wouldn't be judged.
Right,
And that's
of
a great,
course.
Especially in this town, it's usually the exact opposite, but there's a compassion there, and I felt like for you playing this role, I thought it would be such a wonderful, that quality was so wonderful, and it came through. So.
And you're really great. You're really great. You're crying. I was telling your family, I go, he's halting. Like you're doing the scene, even rehearsing, you get emotional. But
That's true.
You don't. It's a little bit here, a little bit here, but it's great. It's very unique, and it's wonderful.
Well, we had this is our last day. We're about to do our last scene, so I wanted to do this few minutes with you. But getting to know you it's been equally as exciting getting to work with you because it's even like the story you just told about. What's the name of the organization?
Camp del Corazon. Camp of the
heart. Yeah, of the heart, of the sun. I just think that to me is, that's been 50% of the joy, was getting to know and getting to understand where your compassion and your kindness came from, because it's just a...
Well, also you said early on, oh, kids could come to the set. And my kids have been to the set a lot. You know, that doesn't always happen. You go, I used to be one way, now I'm like, hey, let's bring them, they can be in it or whatever. And my kids had never been in a church until this movie. Like a church, right? And there was that beautiful Greek...
Assumption Greek
yeah,
Long Beach.
And they were looking around like, whoa. And you know, the art is, you know, what is happening here? And I said, you know, it's the same cast of characters as ours.
Right.
And then your buddy that owned the rec center opened up. Jimmy, I love that guy. My son went over to play basketball with his 4 sons, and then he had that restaurant. That was the best day, by far.
Jimmy's.
That was by far. This was the best setup. Because I had my table over here, you had a birthday party for me.
Oh, that's right.
The food was so good. My son didn't want to leave. It was like midnight. And he's like, please let me stay 1 more hour, because he was having fun with Jimmy's kids. And that was great. I wish every day would be like that.
Yeah, that was Jimmy Iliopoulos. What a great guy, yeah. And yet all of that was great. And I would say, just even shooting those scenes we did that night was another great scene where you look at the car and you're like,
oh yeah, I know you like that stuff. You like that stuff.
I love it. I love it. So, all right. Well,
thank you, buddy.
It's been great.
It's been great.
God willing, we'll be in
God willing.
the future as well.
One day at a time, man.
All right, brother.